A good friend of mine, Avinash Kaushik, has the interesting role of being the analytics evangelist for Google and has said that not using goals is a crime against humanity. Now, it's possible he's overstating the case a bit, but I think his point is fairly clear. If you don't have any goals, what you've got is a really, really fancy hit counter. Kind of like driving a Ferrari from your driveway to the driveway next door. It works, but it misses the point entirely. And when it comes to defining goals, only you know what the goals for your site are. We talked in the introduction about choosing goals as an answer to the question of why do you have a website? And we even gave several suggestions as examples of food for thought. We can find the dedicated goal reports here in their own tab, and we can configure up to 20 goals per profile. If you need more, you can just create more profiles. And what you see here and in the rest of the reports will depend on your site and how you configure your particular goals. Now remember, Google Analytics is just a tool, and like any other tool, it has to be configured to get the most out of it. Just like a drill needs bits to be configured to tell it what size of a hole we need to configure goals in Google Analytics to tell it what we need measured. One important configuration is we can assign a value to a goal. This allows us to get revenue info without having a full-blown e-commerce shopping cart type solution on our site. The idea here is that if you know a particular goal is estimated to be worth a certain amount to you, and each time a visitor reaches that goal, it will attribute that revenue to the visitor and all the segments associated with it. So perhaps you know that based on historical sales close rates, every lead that your site generates is worth an average of $100. We can go in and tell Google Analytics just that. Now remember, the bottom line is we're just trying to understand which segments are outperforming or underperforming. So even if you don't get super accurate value, it's much better to have it than not. So you can use all these ROI and goal value reports that can be highly illuminating, even if it's not precise down to the penny. We also have some trending reports that will give us standard trending reports by hour, day, week, month. We can do this on either all of our goals together, or we can do it individually per goal. We often prefer to look at goals as a rate rather than simply by quantity, and comparing date ranges can be handy as well. But to be honest, I almost never look at these trending reports because if I'm looking at rates, it's usually to find pockets of profitability. I want to find that one keyword that just kills it and converts customers like crazy. These reports don't give me much actionable info, so let's look at where we can actually get that. Now you'll notice here we flipped up to the Traffic Sources tab. What we're going to do here is look at other reports and we're going to switch to the Goal tab. If you select the Goal tab, then you'll see the metrics that we see here based on our goals. In our case, I've defined 3 goals: a sample size estimation tool completion, conversion testing tool completion, and an ad split test tool completion. So in the search engines report, I can see how the search engines are performing not just in terms of visits, but I can evaluate the quality of those traffic based on my goals. And if I've assigned a goal value, I can even get things like per visit goal value. We see the same exact idea here in the keywords report, and you can use this same idea of evaluating any of these reports based on goals. You can apply this to nearly any other report in analytics. Defining goals is the first step in moving beyond counting hits and customizing Google Analytics to tell us what we need to know about the quality of visits on our site.